way. Come on, move. Get. Come on. Nope, nope. Get. What is going on, everyone? This is a little farm update. One of these days we'll consistently start putting stuff out, and I don't know, it's just been a lot of work trying to get stuff ready before the baby comes in springtime so we have more pasture. But the catch pen, still working on that. I got a little more progress. We'll see that a little bit later. I know that was the last little update I did. We've got our compost going here. It'll be ready in a few weeks, especially with the rain we've been getting. But we've been, me and my dad, he was around the other day. Well, he still is, but he was under the weather. But he was feeling decent one day. We started clearing a path through the woods. So I'm about to show you all that. So we started, there was a day I was at work, I don't know, a few weeks ago. My dad started in on this. Basically, we got to cut a path. I think it's 865 feet. We started cutting a path. I think we're about 375 foot in. And it's just tons of underbrush. There's going to be some larger trees that'll have to be cut down. But we got in here. He did it the one day. He made it, I don't know, 60 foot or so. And then the second day, both me and him were at it. We made it a good ways. Then I made it probably another like 85 feet or something one day just on my own. As you can see, the carnage through here. There's tons of brush. It's gonna need to be chipped. And we'll walk down to where we got. And the hardest thing is just knowing exactly. There's property markers along the way, but in between, because stuff was so thick, I'd have to keep kind of running ahead and looking at them and coming back. And I paint it. Because there's T-posts near where the property's, right by the property stops. And then the pink flagging on there all has come off, or it's super faded if it hasn't. So I ended up just spray painting with some orange marking paint so I could kind of see through everything and kind of look ahead. But yeah, here's another big old pile of crap. I mean, as you can see, if you look around, I mean, where we've come through, it's a lot clearer. But man, there's a lot of work, and I mean, I was at it all day for 2 days. And this is basically right here, the end of the line. There's a little bit of stuff cleared that way that's just on the ground that I hadn't got to. And we are now, you can kind of see it, sort of. The compost pile's right behind me. We made it just past that. With all that being said, I realized with the limited amount of time I've got, it's going to be a bit rough. Let's see if we can cut back through here. I don't know if we can. If we got a spot that's thin enough. Yeah, we should be able to. I realized with my limited amount of time, and the baby being on the way, and all the other stuff I got to do other than the fencing to get this all set, that I am going to have to kind of contract this out. I had a guy come by to give me a quote on forestry mulching it, and I think we are going that way. He said he could probably do it this week. And the plus side of that, because there's going to be, which there's no way of really knowing, but there's going to be some big trees that'll have to be dropped too. That'll either be too close to the fence that I'd want gone before I stretch it. We got to walk on this compost a little bit. But yeah, either they'll be too close or they'll be right where the fence has to go. So with all that extra work, and then all the other stuff which I'm about to show you, there's just no way I'm gonna have time. Just racing against the clock, and then you got weather that doesn't cooperate. But he said because pretty much is all small stuff, that he should probably be able to do it in about 6 hours, which is good. It's gonna cost a chunk still, but it could be worse. We got all this old hay I'm gonna have to pull out of here. And then the big project is I only have a few options if for what I'm about to show you here. We have this big old trash pile that the previous owner created and left. And I've got to, that's going to be smack dab in the middle of everything. So I've got to get all this taken care of. And because there's soil and brush and everything in the mix, I'm not 100% sure. Look, where's it at? Yep, right there, cactus. Random cactus in there. But I'm not sure the best course of action. I may have to burn all this brush that's in the mix, so I could even get in there, because there's a lot of briars and everything. You'll get torn up. And all these trees are going to have to get dropped too at some point. But I'll have to sift through all the soil that's in the mix. Probably rent a dumpster, costing me more money. Gotta love people that just make a trash heap. But so I'm gonna have to sift through all that, get this cleared up. The dirt piles we'll probably level this. Eventually I was thinking about putting a little pond here, but I don't know, probably not. We'll see. And maybe at some point, but that's the other big thing. Then that fence line there, there's probably like 2 60-foot sections or so I'm gonna have to clean up, because there's actually a fence there. All the T-posts need flipped, and I need to put a brace on the front end of it because it's just tied off to a tree and all that. So the fence needs work, but there is a fence there. So I gotta clean that up because he'll only be able to get so close to the fence with the forestry mulcher. And that's the biggest thing we got going on. I've got to kind of contract out some of this stuff, unfortunately. I was going to rent a skid steer with a brush cutter. But one, they're booked out quite a ways. Two, I've got some work I got to do to my F-350 before I could tow it. They're not going to let me tow that with the F-150. So it's kind of a time thing, and I don't have much of it, especially with having a deadline. Springtime, essentially, it coincides. The baby being born, and then springtime. So that's what we got on this end of the farm. We got, the boys are doing good. Bacon and Hammy are decent size for guinea hogs. I was trying to get a processing date, hence their names. They were always for food. But I was trying to get a processing date. But the custom processor we use, because that's just going to be for personal consumption, The processor we use is not accepting. They won't even give you a date till after, I think they said the end of March, which is just insane. So I may have to find somewhere else. Like I would get it if they were like, oh yeah, because I think it has to do with deer, processing deer. But I get it if they wouldn't make a date till after that. Like you can make the date, but it's after that date, after the end of March or whatever. But because what's gonna happen more than likely, and that's when they need to be processed really, is around that time. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna call on the end of March, and then they're gonna be booked out for another 3 months. I'm gonna have to be feeding these pigs for another 3 months, costing me money. And being guinea hogs, it's not gonna translate to a lot more size. And it's not like you could just pile feed. Just give them a ton of feed to get some size on them, because guinea hogs will put on a lot of fat. Because they're a heritage breed, so they're more of a lard pig. So you got to keep them a little bit on the leaner side. So we got that, and yeah, like I said, that's about it on this side of the farm. We got the catch pen, which is probably not even worth showing you. All I did is I put in, I don't know if I did it before, I think the last video I showed it, but I put all the posts in, and then I stretched woven wire from that section of pipe fencing to the back of the pen. So just kind of quite a bit more work, but it's mostly usable now. That's the not so quick update. Hopefully we'll get to filming some exciting stuff. We processed a few chickens we raised to be processed, we ended up just getting rid of. They went to different homes, because I'm just not going to have the time. I don't have the time or the bandwidth. So, but there's our update. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying tuned. Once I get this front fenced in and all that, I should be able to start really filming a lot of cool stuff. It's just a part of building a small farm, basically on your own. And I'm not taking out operating loans or anything like that. I don't want to do that. So it's a slow, tedious process. So thanks for following us on this journey. Until next time, have a good one, everyone, and God bless.